Damn, I'm looking fresh this morning. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Sydney. Man, I cannot shake this cold for the life of me. But you know, it'll go away. Unfortunately, there are some things that can't be shaken very easily in the space of a few weeks. And one of those things is the inherent narcissism of women. Let me elaborate on this. So, I went to a, I guess a networking group last night. I was invited along, and there was this one lady, and she was telling us about her story, how, she used to be a model overseas, and then, she came from a small town within the region, was from one of the Asian countries, and then she was discovered as a singer while she was a model, and got invited to come over and sing in New Zealand, and she's performed all across the world. And you can tell that her intent is genuine when you speak to her. She actually has a really genuine personality and wants to help people and wants to see people happy. But when she was telling her story, she was talking about her marriage breakup, and she said, she's like, when we separated, it was really hard for me because, he kept contacting me, I guess he just loved me so much, which was probably true at the time. He just loved me so much, and, I just really wish that it had been easier on both of us. And then she went on to talk about how, at the moment when she left, and she said, and eventually I left.
In 500 meters, use the left lane.
So I picked up my clothes, and I picked up my music gear, and I took my daughter. She didn't emphasize it like that, but it's like, well, is it both of your daughters or is it just your daughter? She said, I took my music stuff, my clothes, and my daughter, and I left. And she said, my husband just struggled with the fact that I was an entertainer and that, I had to be nice to lots of people. It's like, no, you're pretty sure that wasn't exactly what your husband was struggling with. Maybe you just embellished it a little too much. I don't know. And look, I'm not going to be too hard on her. She's in her, it was like late 60s now, almost 70s. So, her life's done. She's had a relatively good life, and I don't know if the daughter ended up getting a relationship with her father, but that's a story for another day. What then got me thinking about is, this person who and I'm a very good judge of character, by the way. This person who, by my judgment, has, very pure intentions towards other human beings, essentially is quite narcissistic. I was like, okay, so it's possible to be narcissistic but also have good intentions, right? It's just that your sense of what is a good intention may be somewhat warped. I was like, interesting. I hadn't really thought about things like this, and even later, I can't remember what it was about, but she said, what was it? She was saying something about how, other people might come to her for help to try and, influence others. She goes, so, and she essentially made a reference to herself, taking her clothes off, and you give her money, like paying her to take her clothes off. I was like, wow, really? Is this the mindset? I take off my clothes as a woman and you give me money? And, to be honest, that's what I see a lot of, right? I see a lot of women taking off their clothes for money. And, you know, in marriages and relationships, you know, because quite often money is what they're in these things for. And that's not to say that, it's not to begrudge them of the opportunity to do that, but I'm just letting you guys know that if a chick is having you pay for everything for her, even if you do it willingly, if a chick is paying for, you know, getting you to pay for everything, and she's not really working a lot and she's spending more than she's earning, then you better believe that you're paying a prostitute, right? I know they don't think of themselves as prostitutes, but when they give you sex in exchange for you giving them money, that's prostitution. And it works the same way. Like if you got a dude who's got a sugar mama, she's giving him cash and he's giving her the D, that's prostitution. Right? It's a plain and simple exchange. You might have a great friendship with your prostitute, but it's still prostitution to exchange money for sex. Right? If that's all there is. I mean, you know, if you got a sorry, I just wanted to make the traffic light. Like if you got some if you're in a relationship, right, and the woman is a good mother, right? And by a good mother I mean a good mother, I mean she like is really good with the kids in the same way that you are. You know, she brings a lot to the table. You know, she sends you off to work with your lunch, you know. You know, you're walking out the door with like a little lunch bag and everything. You know, if she's a really, really good partner, she's not narcissistic, and if she is, it doesn't impact you. You know, and it's just more about her sort of looking after herself so that she can look after her family, right? You know, that's probably a pretty good situation to be in, but it is very rare. It's very rare, and it's very unlikely for you to meet any Western woman, especially a woman who has come out of university. A woman who's come out of university, you can basically forget it. Anyway, and yeah, I do have a flu, Ollie Town. I'm sorry to see. Oh, Underdog, what's going on? Good to see you guys. John, Kevin, Harry, Yawn, Johnny, glad you caught me, man. Crypto, Andrew, Paul Slack, Mr. Man. Good to see you guys all in here, and Family Stone. Hope that MGTOW Farmer as well. So, now I've given you that a little bit of an observation, right? Giving you a little bit of an observation that I made there. Now, and look, yeah, look, Johnny Lawrence. Yes, the more educated the woman, the better. I respect those who studied hard and made their way to success. But what did they learn when they were studying, Johnny? Did they learn that white men are bad and that they're oppressed by the patriarchy and that there's this glass ceiling that they can't break through? Because if that's what they're learning, then that education of theirs is useless, in my view. Right? You might have the best technical knowledge on feminist dance theory that I've ever seen, but that doesn't make you intelligent. Right? That doesn't make you useful to me as a partner. That doesn't make you, it certainly doesn't make you loyal or dedicated to being a good partner. So, I mean, look, someone who's done like construction management or is a coding engineer, like, hell yeah, I respect that shit. Right? I respect that. As long as you don't carry on about this patriarchy bullshit, I can respect that. So, you know, how long ago did you go to school, Johnny Lawrence? I'm just curious because things have changed a lot in the last 5 to 10. Alright, so back to my train of thought, right? So, you know, we're talking about basically subconscious narcissism, and I'm noticing this more and more. You know, we've even got, you know, look, we know the life coaching business is exploding and more women than ever before are life coaches. And a lot of these life coaches are saying, you know, be greedy, be selfish, you know, yeah, it's all about you, you know, look after yourself. And I agree with that to a point, but I don't think that telling people that it's okay to be greedy and that it's okay to be selfish is a fantastic idea, right? And, you know, I don't need to be greedy to look after myself. I mean, for me, greedy would be going and snatching coins out of a homeless dude's hat, right? An actual homeless dude, not just someone who does it for extra cash, right? And I agree, there are a lot of lost people out there, and there are a lot of good life coaches. But even some of these life coaches are telling people to take on traits that are inherently narcissistic, right? And you've got, you know, that lady last night. She's saying, it's my daughter, right? She even said, oh, you know, and I didn't really miss him until he died. You know what I mean? And it's just really tough for me to watch this because, you know, I see, like, I mean, single motherhood is inherently a narcissistic pursuit, and that's if it's by choice. Just like to clarify that. I know a friend who's a single mother, and she did it tough, right? And her ex-partner was a nut. Like I saw him losing the plot and going crazy. And yeah, she's a bit frustrating if you don't know her, if you don't get her. And he obviously didn't. But it's just, yeah, man. It pains me because I know that this is the way we're going, and I know that we are powerless to stop it. Social media is fueling narcissism like crazy. Like Instagram, Snapchat. It's like the doggy ears, you know, a little Snapchat filter. We've got this shit going on every 2 seconds. You know, we've got all the girls wearing the filters where they got like the cute little freckles and little fawn ears, you know. And then on top of that, we've got, you know, these bikini chicks on Instagram, left, right, and center. Hashtag fitness, hashtag fitspo, hashtag motivation, hashtag babes of Instagram. It's like hashtag shut the fuck up. I'm sick of your narcissistic crap. One moment, guys. Ah, that's better. So, and you see all around you, right? Like, you know, we saw that girl the other day on the video that I did that I shared about the mainstream media glorifying riding the carousel. Like this chick, you know, and we hear about, I had some comments the other day, like I was, you know, engaging with some feminists on Twitter who had tweeted with the hashtag MGTOW in it, right? And we're talking shit about MGTOW. So I engaged with some of them and I gave them a bit of a schooling, but I mean, there's only so far you can school a feminist that's learned all the bullshit they've heard from university. And she was saying, oh, you know, you're just upset that women have choice now and we're disposing of undesirable partners. And I'm like, well, yeah, I know you're disposing of undesirable partners. And so you're actually now admitting that males are disposable. Honestly, it's exactly what's happening. So, you know, I don't know. You know, this is where we're going, and it really concerns me that the university students of today are the government of tomorrow. Right? We already see, you need a university degree to get into the media. And what are we seeing in the media now? We're seeing this leftist propaganda that's indoctrinating young kids, especially via the ABC. Leftist propaganda indoctrinating young kids. This leftist propaganda being pushed in commercials, in marketing, in TV shows, in Hollywood. Like, shit, man, Ocean's 8, come on. I spoke to someone the other day who hadn't seen Ocean's 11, 12 and 13. And I said, and they saw Ocean's 8, and I was like, what's your thought about Ocean's 8? She goes, oh, it was pretty good, I guess. It was, kind of like a chick flick. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Right, whereas any of you guys have seen Ocean's 11, 12, and 13, that is one of the most badass franchises out of Hollywood that I've ever seen. But now you got a couple of femtards riding off the back of the name, literally stealing the name, right, for their own purposes, to try and ride off the back of the success of the Ocean series. Right? They should have just called it Feminist 8. Right? So they could really go after their target audience. And of course, people that like the Ocean series were like, oh, Ocean's 8, man, I gotta check this out. I loved Oceans 11, 12, and 13. And of course, the review sites gave it almost 70% as a rating. But of course, the audience gave it less than 50%. And of course, now it's all white males' fault, right? For rating down this movie, because they're afraid of losing their power. They're sick of women. They don't want women to, be successful in media and film. And so they're rating them down to, hold women down and push them back, back to where they were before. But, we're strong, independent women, and we won't be held back like that. We will fight through and we will smash these stereotypes. It's like, you are fucking retarded. You're so fucking retarded. I cannot even begin to imagine. It's like, okay, when the majority of your potential audience are white males, you might want to not try and fuck those white males over, right? Like, they're the dudes paying the majority of the money into the box office, right? Like, they're the suckers paying to take their girlfriend to Ocean's 8, as well as themselves. And then they're paying for the popcorn on top of that. This is the ridiculous thing. Oh man, don't tell me you had to go and watch Ocean's 8, Paul Slack. I feel bad for you, brother. I feel bad for you. And the women, the women are not calling for any laws to change. Feminists are not interested in laws changing. And see, the thing is, right? When we say, we want the laws to be changed, and favor men a little bit more, right? Bring back to fairness. But feminists here, oh, you want the laws to favor men, you misogynistic pricks. You just want to see women with no rights and blah, 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 blah. Like, they lose their shit. It's like, no, you didn't even listen to what was said. You didn't even grasp any context, Completely ignored everything. It's so stupid of you. It's retarded. That's right, John Kevin. They're going to say men are disposable till they're a 35-year-old cat lady. Amen to that. Johnny Lawrence says, I do thank all the brave and smart women with higher education making a difference out there, and I really don't see a need to criticize them. So, just to clarify, Johnny Lawrence, are you thanking all the women with gender studies degrees? Are you thanking all the feminist lawyers that are coming in and advising their clients on how to fuck a man over with false allegations of accusing them of domestic abuse, financial abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, marital rape, right? Are these the type of brave, smart women that you're applauding? Are you applauding the the social justice warriors, right, that have just that are a year into their arts degree and already become professional activists for outfits like Get Up, which is funded by Soros, and many other leftist outlets. These are the brave, smart women you're talking about. Are you talking about the brave, smart women, right, that decide they don't need no man, so they go out and get pregnant and then rely on the government? You're talking about the brave, smart women that come out of university thinking they're much better than everyone else. And if you don't believe me, Johnny Lawrence, go and check out my video. It's one of my first videos that it's just go on my channel, click video, scroll all the way to the bottom. This video went viral, and it went viral for a reason. If you look at the comments on the page, you'll understand exactly what I'm saying. Called the Sydney Man Drought. I really encourage you to go check that out, right? Because these brave, smart women you're talking about, they're now complaining, right? They've got, you know, they're 70% of uni graduates, right? They're literally forcing men out of university because they just got so much hatred towards men. And now that there's not very many uni graduates, now these women are upset that there's no educated men left, when we've all just moved on to trades and other things. And Johnny, I'd really like to know how old you are, dude, because, and also where you live. That's kind of important, right? Because if you don't live in the West, then you probably haven't seen much of this. Interesting. Anyway, guys, what I want you to do, what I really want you to do is when you're interacting with women on any level, I want you to just observe them. Right? Even when you're seeing a woman having a conversation with someone else, watch them seeking validation. Smash that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button below if you haven't already. And, you know, just observe them seeking validation. Observe them pushing their preferences and their point of view, even if it's to the detriment of the other people. Right? This is something I want you guys to do. It's very important. You know, ask these, like, honestly, I had someone the other day, one of my subscribers was telling me that him and his buddy were chatting with about 3 girls, and they were all teachers, and they were talking about how, oh, you know, we're teachers, and this guy's mate, the teacher said, oh, you know, what do you do? What did you study? And he goes, oh, I did economics. And they started laughing. They started laughing. Right? These chicks were saying, you know, you should study economics. They started laughing. Yet, and they're like, oh, what can you do with economics? And I'm like, well, shows how much you women know about money. You know? And turns out my subscriber's mate earns 10 times what they do in a year. So he works for 1 year and he earns what they earn in 10. Because he's in international finance. Yeah, what are you going to use an economics degree for? I wonder. Maybe something to do with money. Maybe something to do with actually making money so that you can earn more money instead of just teaching kids. And I know that teaching kids is very important. And for that reason, if I were to ever have kids, my plan would be to homeschool them. Because the education system in the West is now full of teachers that have been indoctrinated with feminist propaganda and rhetoric and think that boys don't need help because they're inherently advantaged. So they need to help all the girls first, right? Because they need to help empower all those young girls. And even in that group I went to last night, you know, I got a bunch of women up there who were saying, you know, I'm really passionate about helping other women I'm really passionate about helping women in business to succeed. You know, I run a separate group about, you know, women in business and women this and women that. It's like there was just as many dudes up there speaking, but none of them spoke about, oh, I'm so passionate about running a group about helping men in business. It's like because men just succeed, right? They don't need some, you know, some bunch of people to help them in that way. Whereas it's like, how many women's groups do you need? How many women's grants do you need? Right? How many of everything for women do you need before you can function on the same level as men? Like, Jesus Christ. Like, fucking hell. Right? How many times do you want to use the word empowerment in the same sentence as woman or women? Right? And it's just really nuts. And I just wanted to get up there and say, look, stop talking about empowerment, right? Start talking about giving people, right? And if you want to talk to women, that's fine. But if you, like, let's say if we're talking specifically about women, right? Don't say, oh, I'm going to empower you to be an empowered woman, because that's what empowerment's all about. It's like, fuck off with that shit, right? It's been done to death, right? You want to start talking about empowering people? Start talking about explaining to people how things work. Start talking to people about providing them with the tools to do what it is that they need to do to get to their goals. That's the kind of language that people need to be using. Empowerment is just such a bullshit word these days, in my view. And I don't know what you guys think, but that's my personal view on it. What up? We got Papa MGTOW in the house. Good to see you, Papa MGTOW. It's been a while since I caught you in a stream, man. Thanks for joining in. And yeah, like, I don't know. Guys, honestly, observe women interacting with others. Observe them interacting with others, and you'll see what I'm talking about the subconscious narcissism. Anyway, I'm going to bounce for now. I don't know, I feel like I would have liked this video to be more impactful, a bit more energy, but I'm a bit tired. Proof's in the pudding, right? But, I just wanted to give this to you as food for thought, guys. So please smash that thumbs up. If you want to donate to this channel, head over to patreon.com/Sydney MGTOW. If you want to check me out on Twitter, see the mischief I've been getting up to, twitter.com/Sydney MGTOW, and instagram.com/Sydney MGTOW. Got some good memes and posts up there as well. So I'm out of here, guys. Stay safe. Look after yourself. Put yourself first, but be decent towards others. And just focus on what's important, really. Focus on what's important without becoming a narcissist. I appreciate you all. I'll catch you next time. Peace.